This is a show that will blow your mind, but it might not. It all depends. Do you like breakfast and a book with a friend? Hey guys, I'm doing a dance. So guys, today we're doing the breakfast and a book with Swallow. We're vamping, we're saying stuff till people get here. That's what you do, because you gotta wait for the people to show up. You gotta wait for the people to show up. While you're waiting, you should sing a song, because singing a song is fun. What song should I sing though, guys? Hi Ray. We're doing breakfast and a book with Swallow again, guys. We're about to get it started, letting some people show up. I saw people who are like professional at this, and they have like a sign that says, "The show will begin in 30 minutes." I tried to write a sign that said that, and then I realized you can't read my writing. My writing is the worst. It is terrible, and no one should ever have to read it. Oh, I tried to write this one. Breakfast in a book, going live at 12:50. Also, it's mirrored, so people would be like, "That's weird. I don't know exactly what that says." So, welcome to Breakfast in a Book with Swallow. The breakfast part, PB&J with wheat. I leave my crusts on, even though I don't really like the crust. But you can't waste crusts in the apocalypse, guys. Also, nectarines. It's the last nectarine. It's also the last of the peanut butter. So it looks like I'm gonna have to put on a mask, slather myself up with some antibacterial spray, and maybe some hand sanitizer. Literally just bathe myself in it to go to the grocery store and get more peanut butter. Today's book we're talking about is one of the most epic fantasies of all time. It is just a work of art, literally a work of art. It is The Mists of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley. It is a version of King Arthur that is more from the women's point of view, basically. It's the magical saga of the women behind King Arthur's throne, The Mists of Avalon, a monumental reimagining of the Arthurian legends. Reading its deeply moving and at times uncanny experience, an impressive achievement, the New York Times Book Review. So let's see. Do we have a back thing? I mean, this, let's do it this way. We'll do this. Yeah, okay. Here is the magical legend of King Arthur, vividly retold through the eyes and lives of the women who wielded power from behind the throne. There's the darkly bewitching Morgane. Or Morgana? Morgane? I don't know. Half-sister to Arthur and a high priestess in the enchanted land of Avalon, where women rule as the creators of life and keepers of knowledge. For Morgane there is but one quest, to wrest Britain away from Christianity, the new religion which views women as the carriers of original sin, and return it to the worship of the mother goddess. The fair and lovely Queen Guinevere is torn between her duty to her king and the new god and her passion for the dashing Lancelot. Both women struggle and suffer, and both, in their own extraordinary ways, triumph. This book, first off, I want you to see how thick it is. My friend Carol said she finished reading this book on the flight to Glastonbury in 1996. Oh my God. I can't imagine a cooler thing than to go to Glastonbury while reading The Mists of Avalon. That is amazing. And I definitely wish that I had done something like that, because that'd be so cool. I mean, I read The Mist of Avalon while grounded inside of a room I shared with 3 boys, because we had a stepsister who got her own room, and then we put a divider in the room. At one point, I slept in the closet. I actually liked sleeping in the closet. We just put a mattress down there. I had my books next to me. I would read books while in the closet. So But eventually I came out of the closet. Hey, I mean, that's not true at all, but I just left the closet and lived somewhere else. Um, so I want to open up the book, The Mists of Avalon, and read from it just because you guys should actually have to do that. My friend Tim says, bold move to wear that jacket. Better hope this is an Android saga. How you feeling? Yeah, I'm okay for now. I haven't had any symptoms at all. I'm feeling pretty darn good, honestly. Um, yeah, weirdly, because I've been just getting a bunch of sleep, I'm feeling like a bazillion times more healthy. Uh, we are, maybe gonna run out of money in a month, but Ariel lost her job, I lost my job, and so I'm doing these videos to be goofy, to entertain people, and people throw me a few bucks here and there. So thanks to you guys, I'm actually surviving okay. Like I keep pulling off paying rent and stuff. But what we're talking about is the Mists of Avalon. As you know, if you've watched this show before, you know that one of the things I like to do when I'm looking for a book and it's from an author I don't know is I open up in the middle of the book and I read it. Now, I knew Marion Zimmer Bradley because somebody suggested her, and then I started reading her. So, a little bit different situation, but here we go. I'm going to open up and we're going to read from the Mists of Avalon. She clasped his hand and drew him down beside her on the bench where she sat before the banner. Is it not fair, she said, and thought she sounded like a child begging for praise. It is very beautiful. I thought I'd never seen so fine work as this, and he laid his hand on the crimson-worked scabbard of Excalibur that never left his side. But this is finer still. And I have woven prayers for you and your companions into every stitch, she said in entreaty. Arthur, listen to me. Do you think could it not be God has punished us because he feels we are not fit to give this kingdom another king, you and I, unless we will vow ourselves to serve him faithfully, not in pagan ways, but in the new way under Christ? All the forces of pagan evil are allied against us, and we must fight it with the cross. He laid his hand over hers and said, Come, dear love, this is folly. You know I serve God as best I may. But you still raise that pagan banner of serpents over your men, she cried, and he shook his head in distress. Dear love, I cannot break faith with the Lady of Avalon, who set me on my throne. It was God and no other who set you on the throne, she said earnestly. Oh, Arthur, if you love me, do this. If you wish for God to send us another child, do you see how he has punished us by taking our son to himself? See? Drama. Yes, Jason. Breakfast and a book with Swallow. Read the thing that I posted on there. Yeah, breakfast and a book. Basically what I'm doing is I'm talking to people about books, and I'm talking to people about breakfast. So my breakfast at 12:30 is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Oh, and tea. Gotta have tea, guys. So, Marion Zimmer Bradley, this book is like, I mean, as you can see, it's very thick. But the drama is great. There's intrigue. There's magic. You get to see Merlin. You get to see Morgaine doing magic. It takes a totally different viewpoint of Arthur. Merlin's kind of a prick, but he's always kind of a prick, really, because he's a wizard. And they're just, I mean, God, gets the sword. Arthur tries to stay true, but he also has like the lady who's trying to get him to not be true, and new gods. She's changing from this to that. Oh man, it's so fun. As often as Morgase of Lothian had come to Camelot, she never tired of the pageantry. Now conscious that as one of Arthur's subjects, queens, and the mother of 3 of his earliest companions, she would have favored place at the mock games, which were marked this day. She sat beside Morgaine in church. At the end of the service, Galahad would be knighted, and he knelt now beside Arthur and Guinevere, pale and serious and shining with excitement. This book is medieval mastery. Like, it's just so good, Renaissance-y. It's just got all the wonderful trappings, and her writing is paints the kind of picture that you need painted when you're reading a book this big, because you really need to live like when you're reading a, let's see, 900 page book, 868 pages book. When you're reading, Jason says, so he's like you minus being a wizard. Hey, Jason, no, I'm cool and nice and kind, unless you fuck with me, and then I'll make fun of you. Not you, though. You're my homie. I used to skate with Jason. So, anyways, 869 pages. You need that painting picture. You need to be able to see this like a movie. In fact, I wish that someone would turn that into a TV show, because these would be great shows. Although, you know, you've done Merlin and you've done Game of Thrones, and I don't know how well all of this would go, but I would love to see it on TV. I think that they would turn Mists of Avalon into an amazing TV show, because it's got drama, it's got romance, it's got magic, it's got sword fights, it's got magical sword fights. I mean, come on, guys, you can't ask for much more than that. It's got an ending that you probably already know, because it's basically kind of the same ending but different. All I'm saying, read Marion Zimmer Bradley, The Mists of Avalon. It is an amazing book. I wish they had a back thing, but they really don't. Anyways, Mists of Avalon, nectarines. Nectarines are sorely underrated, you guys. They're crisp, they're delicious. They don't have that aftertaste that peaches have. I used to like peaches better. Now I like nectarines better. What else should we say? I think that's probably it. Oh, let's see. Carol Campbell, The Mists of Avalon is a 2001 miniseries based on the 1983 novel of the same name by Marion Zimmer. Oh! They already had a TV show, you guys. I wonder if it was good. Was it good, Carol? The Mists of Avalon is a 2001 miniseries. So you guys, maybe we can go out and find The Mists of Avalon and watch that. But what I would suggest to you is read it. Read all the books. And when we get out of this quarantine, guys, you got to go to your local bookstores, your local used bookstores. Jason Lucas, it sucked. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. You got to go to your used bookstores, and you've got to buy books from them once we're out of the quarantine. For now, don't go do that. Carol says, I think you were into other things at the time. How old were you then? 2001. I think I had moved here, so I was 23, right? 1976, yeah. 23. Oh, no, wait, 4 to 2 to 80, so 25. It's 25, so I was married and living here at that point, so I was probably doing stand-up all the time and not watching much TV, and also reading a lot of books. Now I watch a little more TV than I read books. In fact, at some point, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a show where I read a new book, and then, like, after reading the book, I do like a synopsis and a review that's positive. I am only going to do positive reviews about things. If I don't like something, I'm literally just keeping it to myself at this point. I've realized that when you look at, okay, so for instance, guys, I wrote a fantasy book. Yeah, I wrote a fantasy book. I finished it. It's about 75,000 words. It is not good. It's not good. But I also worked very hard on it. And I'm rewriting in a total different version of it, and a different time, starting in a different place. Yes, Jason, thank you. I'm rewriting it in a different way so that it is like in the middle of the story rather than starting an origin story, because I think an origin story was too long, and it also took me over 10 years to write it. So part of the time I was writing it, it was like I was like 25 and obsessed with boobs, apparently, because I was rereading through it, and it was just like descriptions of titties over and over again. Like, come on, Swallow. But funny and good fight scenes and blah, 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 but like, you know, not great, character overpowered. So I'm rewriting it. But that's what I'm saying is I worked very hard on it, And so now when I review other people's stuff, what I try to do is take the nuggets that I like and talk to you about what I liked about the book, not what I disliked. Because I can leave that to critics. Like, I'm not a critic. I like to read and stuff. So what I would be doing is reading a book, eventually reading a new book, and being like, this is what I liked about it. So you can look forward to that. That'll be breakfast and a new book with Swallow, maybe at some point here. Probably not for a while though, because can't get any new books. Can't spend any money. Don't spend money, Swallow, I keep telling myself. Only buy the foods and hopefully the toilet papers, because the toilet papers are all gone, you guys. It's all gone. Oh, the cat is sneaking in here. Ooh, the kitty cat. Don't you want to see the kitty cat? Don't you want to see the kitty cat? This is a distraction. Kitty, kitty, kitty cat. Kitty, kitty cat. That's our Poe. She's cute. He's super cute, so Poe is super cute. You can zoom while you do that, guys. Anyways, I got distracted. What I was saying was, I'm also going to do a thing where I read a new book. But for today, we talked about Marion Zimmer Bradley, The Mists of Avalon. I would argue a top 5 fantasy book of all time, or fantasy author of all time. Let's say it that way. She is amazing. Like I said, plot, twists, intrigue, romance, fight scenes. It paints a picture that you cannot, like, it's just, you can't help but live in it and see it. So please do yourself a favor. Check out Marion Zimmer Bradley. Read all the books that you possibly can. And if you enjoyed my goofy little video and you have extra money, send some my way. You can Venmo me at Ron-Swallow or PayPal me at ronswallow@gmail.com, or you can do other things like support my other projects like Reboot It, the show where Ed Greer, Billy Business, and Producer Bill from Nerd Goat Podcast, that's my other podcast, by the way, we reboot movies that nobody wants to see rebooted. Like we just did Superman and Green Lantern, and I think we kicked some ass. So go check those out on YouTube. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel where these videos are, and plus a few other things. On top of that, my podcast Nerd Goat is, I think, the coolest thing I've ever done. We talk to people about their favorite fictional characters of all time. You can get that on iTunes or anywhere you get podcasts. You can also, if you want to support us monthly, Ed and I, you can go to patreon.com/nerdgoatpodcast and get on that stuff. The podcast, extra podcasts, you get extra podcasts that are like more personal. We talk about AI, do weird voices. We talked about Saturday morning cartoons one time. We also did something like more intense, talking about Stan Lee and his effect on comics and that sort of thing. And we also do art. If you want to join our $7 tier, you get art from Ed and art from me. The art from me, not as good as the art from Ed. You're also starting to get art from Producer Bill, who is literally probably should just be a comic book artist because he's that good. Anyways, thank you for watching Breakfast in a Book with Swallow. We got peanut butter and jelly, we got nectarines, and we had The Mists of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley. Everybody be safe out there and wash your hands. Don't go out unless you absolutely have to go out, and wear a mask, do all the stuff, because this shit is serious. People are dying from this. We're talking a lot of people could die if we don't do the right stuff. So stay entertained by doing this. Oh, also, most importantly, last thing, 8 p.m. tonight, California time, I'm going to do live stand-up, an hour of live stand-up for my roommates who are sitting 6 feet apart, and for anybody who watches on Facebook. I'm going to start the feed like 15 minutes earlier so people can show up, and then bam, I'm going to start it up. So you guys be safe out there, and give here's virtual hugs. Oh, 8 p.m. Did I say 7 p.m.? 8 p.m. So it's going to be at 8 p.m. California time. Yeah, California time, 8 p.m. My friend Kiki was like, what happened to 8 p.m.? Yes, 8 p.m. California time. So here are virtual hugs. Stay safe out there, and I will see you guys later today.